Many recipes you will find on the internet, particularly with baking items such as cakes and biscuits, call for two ingredients: flour, or sometimes called plain white flour, and baking powder. However, you can replace both of these ingredients using one ingredient called self-raising flour, or SR flour. Why would you want to do this? Because self-raising flour is a lot cheaper than baking powder. In fact, it's the same price as normal flour. Now let's look at how you can save money using self-raising flour instead of baking powder plus flour. You will often hear the adage, to make 1 cup of self-raising flour, you will need 1 cup of plain flour plus 2 teaspoons of baking powder. However, today we're going to flip that saying on its head. How much does 2 teaspoons of baking powder cost? Before we weigh 2 teaspoons of baking powder, we can see a 125 gram can of baking powder costs $2.50 at Woolworths. 1 teaspoon of baking powder weighs 5 grams and 2 teaspoons weighs 10 grams. 1 teaspoon, so what's the maths? So 10 divided by 125 equals 8%. Now 8% of $2.50 equals 20 cents. Not bad. So every time we replace 1 cup of flour with self-raising flour, if the recipe needs baking powder, then we can save 20 cents. Hey, if I find 20 cents on the ground, I'll pick that up. So why do some recipes call for baking powder? Well, maybe in some countries self-raising flour is more expensive than normal flour, so I guess that would make sense. Or how about they don't even have this awesome product called self-raising flour? That's another possibility, I guess. Anyway, I'm going to make blueberry muffins. Can you guys help me out with my math? Shout out to the stay-at-home chef for this recipe. It calls for 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So how much SR flour should I use to make up that 2 teaspoons? Well, if my formula is correct, 1 cup of SR flour equals 2 teaspoons of baking powder. So I got that. Now how much normal flour? 2 cups in total, so I'm going to need 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of SR flour to make that 2 cup total. And after 35 minutes they look pretty good, proving you can use SR flour instead of baking powder and save money every day.